This is the Nunalleq archaeological site, and it's August 29th, 2014. This is the last day of the excavation. This concludes the 2014 season, and we're going to give you a little tour of the house floor. And here's the crew. Okay, now starting with the wall.
Starting with the wall, entering, well, not entering, but here we have the wall, our good preserved eastern wall of the house, outside the house, inside the house. Those of you that follow the blog know that we have a house that was attacked in the bow and arrow wars. Now we're a few generations earlier in time when we entered this big room. So this is what we think is the men's house. And as you can see over here, someone has decided to dig a little trench and put a lot of posts in it. We think that this is the big floor that's been divided into two because of this. Then we move on to the side rooms.
The side rooms were attached to the men's house, which originally held men's quarters, and the side rooms were designed for domestic spaces to hold women and children. Now, in normal Yupik villages that are historically recorded, these would be separate structures, but we found that the structure that was attacked and burned during the bow and arrow wars was in fact a combination of these domestic spaces and the men's house. Moving backwards in time, however, we found a more conventional arrangement of just a single men's house. And so by looking at these reconstruction episodes, possibly triggered by the pressures of the bow and arrow war, we can reconstruct the social changes that affected architectural changes at the site. Now, looking at this side room, this is typical of the side rooms of the house in that it's surrounded by posts and entered through a small entryway lined with split planks. And in this case, the house floor for this side room is fairly well defined by very hard packed soils mixed with grasses and wood chips. And as you can see from the profile, a very densely packed, artifact-rich house floor that still extends below where we stopped, possibly another 20 centimeters. So the artifacts typical of these domestic spaces that we found around this house are filled with things like pottery, root picks, hulus, children's toys, and other artifact markers of a domestic space occupied by women and children. This one is fairly well preserved still. There's another one over here, a small one entered through this walkway, and a little space with a house floor and a solid wall separating these two units right here. Each of them, again, entered through these little boardwalk planks. And now we're going to introduce Vero, who will walk you through that portion of the structure.
Let's take the official entrance. Here we have a boardwalk that leads us into structure 2, which was another little domestic space here, but which is now all excavated. The walls are all gone, but here we really had quite a series of floor which were really compacted, and there was layers of grass and fish bones, and so it was really another little domestic space here. And if you follow me this way, you'll see a very interesting feature here. You see this antler which is next to a post, and apparently people would have put the antlers on the edges of entrances when it was a corridor, because it was dug up and it was dark, and it would have been a place to place your hands when you enter, so that you don't. I from a later occupation on top of this, where there was, which had been burned, and there was a burned floor with crushed dogs, and it was really the latest occupation. But now it is all gone, and we're now further back in time.
This corridor, we think, leads into the big room, into the men's house this way. But this way we have another little room with very, very dense house floor, and already we're on the top, but we can already say that is going to be a lot of very interesting artifacts here, because in our 2013 excavation we had very strange things going on in this corner of the house, with things that we think might be linked to a shaman living there. Now we are a few generations earlier than that, but it kind of looks like it has been the same type of house that has been remodeled over time. And what we do think is that this wall has been very substantial and probably lasted through these generation of houses.
Okay, now I'm going to walk you through our strategy for 2015. What we'd like to do is follow this wall this way towards the east, where the crew is rapidly fleeing, and to see if we can find the corner of this house. And we're also going to look for a corner here in the northwest portion of the site. Get out there, it's going to fly there. Okay, there. So that's what we'd like to do. As you can see from the profile, we've come quite a way. And I'm going to end this here because there's a lot of dust on my lens that's showing up. So that's a brief tour of where we are at the end of the 2014 season.